Okay, so I just came across this concept called aspipes, which is all about modeling pipelines in JavaScript. It's pretty mind-blowing.
Wait, really? So it's like using the proposed pipeline operator but implemented with existing JavaScript features. How does that even work?
Exactly, it uses the bitwise OR operator along with symbol to primitive to create a pipeline syntax. It's less about new syntax and more about clever abstraction.
That's fascinating. So it's a way to simulate the pipeline operator without actually adding new syntax to the language.
Right, and it's under 50 lines of code. But what's really interesting is it supports both synchronous and asynchronous evaluations.
Synchronous and asynchronous. That sounds super useful. Can you give me an example of how it looks in code?
Sure, you can create a simple pipeline like this. Start with a value, then apply transformations using the pipe function.
So like chaining functions together. That's pretty common in functional programming, but how does the actual execution happen?
You call run at the end to execute all transformations. Before that, everything is just set up and no side effects occur.
That makes sense. It's like deferred execution, which can help with performance and clarity.
Exactly, and it's designed to be stateless, so each pipeline is independent and doesn't mess with global state.
But doesn't that mean it might be limited in terms of how you can use it? Like, do you lose some flexibility?
Good point, it doesn't support arbitrary expressions on the right-hand side, only pipeable tokens.
So it's not ready for production yet. It sounds more like a playground for experimentation.
Exactly, it's a prototype to explore how pipelines might work in the future. They're inviting user feedback to shape the design.
I wonder how this could impact the way we write JavaScript in the long term. It could really improve readability.
Totally, and they've even created higher-order pipes, which means you can compose smaller pipes into larger, reusable ones.
Reusable pipes. That's fantastic. So you could create a set of common transformations that can be used anywhere.
Exactly, it's like building a toolkit for your pipelines. For instance, you can have a bot that answers questions and summarizes responses.
That's super practical. I can see this being really useful for working with APIs or even data processing.
Yes, and the inclusion of async functions means you can handle API calls smoothly within the pipeline.
That's a game changer. But I'm curious, what are some of the downsides or limitations of this approach?
Well, as mentioned earlier, it's purely demonstrative. Overusing it might confuse tooling and it lacks some flexibility.
Right? So while it's exciting, it's important to consider how it might not fit every scenario.
Exactly, and the authors are exploring questions like whether future ECMAScript versions might support similar models natively.
That would be interesting. If they could implement it directly into the language, it could really streamline workflows.
For sure, and it raises questions about how TypeScript might adapt to infer pipeline types.
I'm curious how developers will respond to this. It seems like a compelling way to write cleaner, more maintainable code.
Absolutely, and the pipeline syntax could really enhance cognitive flow when reading the code.
I can see how that would make understanding complex operations a lot easier.
Definitely, and it makes side effects explicit, which aligns well with functional programming principles.
That's a big plus. The clarity around when things actually happen is crucial.
Exactly, so while aspipes is still in its experimental phase, it's paving the way for exciting possibilities in JavaScript.
And it's a great reminder of how open source experimentation can lead to new ideas and innovations.
Right, so what do you think? Could you see yourself using something like this in your projects?
Definitely. It seems like a neat way to organize code, especially for data-heavy applications.
Same here, it's all about making our code more intuitive and maintainable.
Absolutely. And I love that this approach could help bridge the gap between JavaScript and functional programming.
Totally, it's like bringing the best of both worlds together, enhancing JavaScript's capabilities.
I can't wait to see how this evolves. There's so much potential, especially if it integrates into future JavaScript.
For sure, it's an exciting time to be a JavaScript developer with so many possibilities on the horizon.
And to think it all started with a simple idea about pipeline composition, it really shows the power of innovation.
Absolutely, I love how discussions like this can lead to new ways of thinking about coding.
Agreed. So, what's next on the horizon for us? Anything else you've been diving into?
Oh, I've got a few ideas, but for now, let's keep our eyes on how aspipes develops.
Definitely. I'm excited to see where this journey takes us next.